I hardly know where to begin.
We are talking the haunted house drama, The Inheritance. This one is directed and written by Chad Barager and Kevin Speckmaier. Now, this is a movie that is set in the Ukraine, and it follows this couple as they travel to this country to accept an inheritance from this woman's deceased grandparents. Now, when they get there, it's a lot bigger than they are anticipating, and this old Gothic kind of style townhouse, large townhouse, and it appears dilapidated. There's no one really around. There seems to be some hostility towards them. And as they're there, they discover there may well be a secret hidden within the walls of this house that forces want to kind of keep under wraps, so to speak. What will happen? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. So let's discuss first of all what works with The Inheritance. So I think this is one of those movies that benefits from being shot in a kind of foreign country. So it has this Eastern European flavour to it. I always was a big fan of like the full moon movies that were shot in Romania, because they always had this Gothic, rustic feel to it, and it's somewhat of the kind of the same here. This Eastern Bloc kind of feeling that it just has this cold and oppressive feel to it that I think just emanates from the from the architecture and things like this. And this particular building where they're living, it looks fantastic. It's fantastically spooky. I've got to say as well, I thought the acting, especially from our main actress, was pretty solid. And she kind of gave this very kind of grounded performance where I felt like our character was relatable, but strong-willed and independent, and was kind of quite an engaging character in herself. And I actually kind of quite like some of the supporting actors here, some of the Ukrainian characters that are through the movie, at least kind of like this couple that helps them. As a woman there looks like a Ukrainian version of Barbara Crampton, which I thought was quite fun. And there are a couple of kind of spooky sequences in this kind of old dark house where we hear crying and kind of stuff being kind of shuffled about and stuff like that. And the movie, if you like a kind of a mystery, then this movie has plenty of that going on as well. So lots of mystery in this movie. I'm putting a pin in that. So let's talk about what didn't work. The mystery. I didn't have a bloody clue what was going on in this movie. It is so hard to follow in the actual movie's plot, because then we have a huge exposition dump at the end. It really isn't that complicated, really. It's kind of like a woman goes into a haunted house. She discovers her grandparents had a dark secret. They maybe weren't quite as idyllic as she once thought. But man, there is things here that just kind of go around the houses and you just don't know what you are watching. And even after having watched this movie in its completion, I still don't know. Certain aspects here, plot plots don't make sense to me. So we have a kind of a subplot where she's being pressured to sell the house to someone. But I don't really know who, why. Why is it they want this to sell this house straight away? Why can't she just go, oh, I want to kind of spend a little bit more time and unravel the mystery about my grandparents and then sell it? Why is the husband so kind of wrapped up with these people all of a sudden when he seems to be a foreigner in this country as well? And why is everyone outside of that seem really weird towards this woman? For example, she goes to the this public records sort of building, and there's just kind of people standing around blankly looking at her and stuff like that. I think, well, who are these people? Why are they doing this? Why are they kind of being weird? Why is a receptionist kind of being, oh, can I serve her? And asking for permission? I just don't know. This movie has such a kind of like a messy plot in regards to, oh, let's have lots of mystery here. you know, and then I don't really understand what happens. It has a huge info dump at the beginning of the sort of second act. Was kind of like, oh, okay, I kind of get some of it now, but I still don't get many reasons for this. And I have to be honest, I don't really understand this woman's reasons for kind of digging up the mystery to begin with. To be honest with you, it's not as if she knew her grandparents. But she's putting herself in potentially danger by kind of putting these, you know, going forward and trying to find out what's happened and for what. None of these people are still alive. I didn't really understand why she was doing it. You know, I guess it's so the movie can happen. So it's not a particularly scary movie. There are a couple of kind of spooky sequences that have kind of an atmosphere of, say, oppression and kind of gothic spookiness, but it's never really scary. There's a couple of sort of jump scares, but for the most part, it's relatively kind of effects free. It's not particularly kind of like exciting movie in any sort of stretch of the imagination. And the biggest thing here, I say, is there's the central mystery of evolving it. But I just think the movie's very much concerned with having arty shots. And that we have like these three men that sometimes are sitting outside the house and looking at them, but sometimes they're not there. And there's like, well, who are they? They're just three men that are looking at the house. Why? I don't really. It's just this is just a film that says, let's have all these kind of weird and spooky random elements. And as a filmmaker, I think I know why I'm doing that. But as a viewer coming into this cold, it doesn't make any sense half the time. I mean, the basic kind of gist of the story you can kind of get, but all the kind of the extraneous kind of like subplots and kind of extra character motivations, I just didn't understand what was happening, to be honest with you. And it's not as if I'm, you know, a person that doesn't watch many films. I watch tons. So it's not as if I'm a complete noob when it comes to stuff like this. It was a very frustrating film, to be honest. It's shot really well. On a technical side, I can't really fault it for kind of technical prowess in regards to kind of filmmaking. But man, the narrative is just kind of like so self-indulgent. Trying to kind of have these artistic moments, you know, kind of weird kind of camera angles, stuff like that, and it's not concerned with you know, a competent narrative, you know, through line really. Now you might say, oh well, you know, maybe some things, you know, you need to know, look at all the clues and stuff like this. I don't know, but to me it was just like it was just too up its own arse to a point, and I just think there was too many things here that were introduced that were just seemed to go nowhere. Or where they did go didn't really seem to make kind of a hell of a lot of logical sense to me. It just didn't. So the movie wasn't particularly interesting, to be honest, because I was thinking, I don't really get why people are doing what they're doing and where the plot is supposed to go, and why our main character even is so, you know, belligerent about kind of not doing things and stuff like that. And I don't understand why she's so motivated about people she hasn't really known, and it's not really going to affect her life. I don't get it. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10, and I'll give it some positive for the art of the craft of the movie on the technical side and the acting. But the story-wise, man, that let it down for me. I mean, maybe someone else will see things in this film that I failed to. I'll say that, but it's just, I just think it wasn't a particularly well-crafted story. Let me put it like that. It's a 5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.